Hey, what's up, otakus? It's your tour guide here, and we're going to count the top 20 Jim Lee books in my collection. We were going to make this 2 videos, but I figured 20 books isn't a big lift, so we're going to count them down. And, these are, again, the books that I feel are representative of Jim Lee's legacy, just my personal favorite books of his. So, maybe your list is going to differ from mine in terms of what's top, but these are the top books and my favorites in the collection. Alright, so we're going to start here with number 20. We've got Superman Unchained, number 1. This is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. It's a beautiful black and white cover. And just all the makings of what I love about Jim Lee and what I love about my collection. Superman. I think this is hands down the best cover in this Unchained run. The next book is XMen number 5. This is the quote-unquote third appearance of Omega Red, because we get a preview of him in X-Men 1. His official first cameo appearance is in previous issue, X-Men 4, and this is his first cover appearance. I think his third appearance overall. But the reason this is one of our favorites is just this sick cover of Logan's adamantium skull exposed. It's just a great, you see the claws there also, you see the inner workings of the claw. Just an absolute fantastic cover by Jim Lee, one of his best in this run. The next book we have is Alphafly 51. This is his first full interior work at Marvel. Not a Jim Lee cover, and really this is on here just for, I guess, his sort of milestone more than anything else. And again, first full interior work at Marvel, pretty significant. So X-Men 51. That is number 18. Number 17, also more early work. His first work at Marvel. This is Marvel Universe. He does one panel on a deceased character called the Eel, which is what makes this book really significant. And got this great sort of wraparound cover here of all the dead Marvel heroes. That is number 17. This is just a favorite copy of ours because we intend to get this signed at some point, and that is Infinite Crisis number 3. Beautiful Superman, Batman cover, and we got ours signed by George Perez, the legendary George Perez. So when we get Jim's signature on this will just really complete a great, dual signature on this great run both of these artists did. Number 15, we've got another great cover here, the Psylocke trading card variant for Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. Just no words to describe how amazing this cover is. It's just a chef's kiss. It really should be higher on the list, but it is just a variant cover, just cover work, but glorious Psylocke right there. Counting down, number 14 on the list is a big one. This is Jim Lee's first work Wildcats. That is Wildcats #1. We have our newsstand edition here, and this is a book we'd love to get signed by Jim Lee. But there's so many 90s signature versions of this book, I figure that's what's going to eventually end up in my collection, a 90s signature. Number 13 on the list, we've got a big one. Along the same lines as that previous George Perez signature book, we've got Batman Detective Comics 1000 landmark issue. We've got our signed by Neil Adams here in the bottom, and we're going to add Jim Lee's signature at the top, and this will really just be one of the top books in my collection at that point. Got this great wraparound cover again by Jim. Really key issue. Again, not too many artists get the privilege of penciling such a landmark issue, but Jim had the honor of doing both Detective Comics 1000 and Action Comics 1000. So I think the pinnacle of what you can, in terms of recognition as an artist, to work on that milestone book. Doesn't hurt to be the creative director of DC at the time when those books came out either. So assigning yourself that really monumental task is quite a big privilege. Number 12 on the list, we have Alphafly 53, and this is Jim's first cover work in comics, and this is a big book. In fact, this is the book, if you're targeting like a milestone book, early book that you'd want to collect. As great as Alphafly 51 is, I would prefer to have this book. It says Wolverine cover, really tough to get in high grade, but just like his first cover, and the man who is known for his cover art, just his artwork in general, but he's obviously one of the kings of covers. Doesn't hurt to have his first cover artwork in the collection as well. This one is special because it's his first work on Superman, his first Superman book. Superman, the Man of Steel 119. Jim Lee does the cover on this one. It's a really fabulous cover. We got the newsstand edition. This is just, I think in terms of his legacy books, something you definitely want to have. His first work on Superman. I think when it's all said and done, Superman will be his legacy character. And the reason I say that is because Superman represents to Jim Lee what he represents to me, is this immigrant who comes to America and really adopts America as his new home, represents the American values, but is an immigrant and is super powerful, and all that messaging really resonates with me, and it does with Jim too. Jim has said in many an interview how Superman was the reason he had this fascination with comic books, and to say favorite character. And it's fitting that he ends up at the House of L as the head of DC and gets to work on all these amazing books. I think we're going to see more Jim Lee Superman as the movie rolls around. Next on the list is Amazing Heroes. I think this is Amazing Heroes 192. And, this is just coming on the heels of XMen #1 being published. There's all that hype around its sales, and this is just a great cover of the X-Men, kind of celebrating. You see them in their sort of formal wear. And we get this great, amazing shot of Psylocke. That's just a chef's kiss right there. Well, our next book is a big book. It's his first work on XMen, and that is Uncanny X-Men 248. And of course, you know, this is one of the first books we want to get signed. I think in hindsight, even though we got a pretty decent grade, I think getting a newsstand might have been something I might have wanted to target more than the direct edition, but it is what it is, and love this signed copy. Alright, we mentioned Wildcats, and we picked up a really big book recently, which is on the list for good reason. That's Malibu Sun, number 15. This is a preview of the Wildcats, the first time you really see the team before the issuance of number 1, Wildcats number 1, and you get this great Jim Lee artwork. That's not really, you don't really see this anywhere in the actual comic book. This is sort of like an exclusive, I guess, artwork for this particular preview cover. So it's really great. And I have this card as well, signed by Jim for the team, the 90s signature. So just a nice kind of piece here for the collection. Coming in at number 7, we have Marvel Age 104. And I just love this book because it's the first cover appearance of Jim in a comic book. And we've got Scott Williams, we've got Will Spertasio, got Gambit, and yeah, we got Jim Lee chained to his desk. Really just funny comic cover. But we also have, ooh la la, what do we have here? Is that a preview of Sexy Psylocke? I believe so. So yeah, good stuff. Right, coming in at number 6, we have probably his most iconic piece at Marvel. I don't want to say his most iconic. It's one of his most iconic pieces at Marvel, and that's this incredible Wolverine cover. This book is just, 90s iconic image. This is, I think, you see this on video game. You see it on T-shirts. It's just one of his principal works on the character, the X-Men character. So coming in at number 5, we have Action Comics 1000. As I mentioned, he had the privilege of working on both Detective and Action 1000s, and he knocks it out of the park with this cover. But what we have here is the San Diego foil exclusive. And we have a signed copy in a 9/8, so this is just a huge book in my collection. And again, I think when everything's said and done, this will be one of his legacy books, along with some of these others I'm going to get to. So 4 on the list, and that is, so we're going to kind of do this. I'm not going to connect them all, but I just want you to use your imagination and be like, okay, these are connecting covers. So we're going to do a series of connecting covers, and you already know where we're going with this one. This is my 9/2 copy of Batman 608 second print. This is signed and sketched by Jim Lee. We've got the signature. He sketched this bat here for us, and that's just fire. That's just lava fire right there. I'm holding lava fire in my hands and not getting burnt. The next connecting cover to that, number 3 on the list, is Wonder Woman. Number 1, I think this is volume 7. Absolutely beautiful cover there. I think one of his best depictions of Diana on a cover. We got the foil as well. I just like I like this version though. I like the A cover. The foil is nice, but the A cover just speaks to me more than anything else. And we also have at number 2 Superman. This is also signed and sketched. We have the signature there, and he sketches Man of Steel, the symbol, S symbol there, as chest logo. So yeah, these are collectively it's one sort of unit for me, like in terms of the collecting, but they are 3 individual books, so I put them on as 3 individual books. And then we are now at number 1, and number 1 is one book. It's collectively one book, but it's a series of variant covers or connecting covers. So a little different. We had 3 individual books coming together as a connecting cover, but this one is just one book with 5 different pieces. So I'm going to show off all 5 pieces, and this is number 1 because it's, I think, collectively the single greatest piece in my collection. We're going to start off with the E cover, which is a gatefold of all the images. Got this nice signed sort of COA, and we'll get to what the COA is. Also got this hologram sort of retailer thank you note from Marvel. That's there. But the signature on that book is a COA of this pin, 2500 produced of this pin, and yeah, it has just the image there, so kind of comes as this sort of like set here representing that milestone. So again, this pin is just acknowledgement of this cover and its significance in comic book history as the best-selling comic book of all time. And again, got the 90 signature there. We also picked up cover A. This one has Chris Claremont, Jim Lee's, Scott Williams, and Bob Harris's signature. Quadruple sign there. On cover A, we got all the 90s signatures on these books, all the 90s. We got Jim Lee and Stan Lee on cover B. Just Jim Lee on cover C. And Jim Lee on the belt, 90 signature Magneto on cover D. And there you go, the top 20 Jim Lee books in my collection. Hope you enjoyed it. And again, I do this every year. You can kind of see where books shift in terms of significance. We did have a big shift this year with the completion of the XMen ones, but XMen 1, I think, will always have a place as his legacy book because of the historic significance of that book. But I think when we look long term, there's definitely room for several legacy books to be on that. And so I think I've covered here a lot of the books that would be considered his legacy books. So hopefully you enjoyed the the list. Hopefully, if these are some of the books you don't have in your collection, you'll want to go out and get them. But yeah, Jim Lee's something at the core of my collection, and so if you continue to follow me, I'll continue to pick up Jim Lee books, and we'll continue to update this list from year to year. So thanks for watching, following. Hit the like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Otaku out.